One of my favorite things in stuff like cartoons and video games are crossovers. Crossovers are when two or more series come together in an episode, show, or video game. Like the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour, or Sam and Cat, or those ads for PVZ2 featuring Jay and Silent Bob. Wait, what? Of course, video games have some of the best crossovers ever, like Super Smash Bros. And PlayStation All-Stars, and even Mario & Rabbids. One crossover series from my childhood I loved a lot was the Nicktoons games. Starting with Nicktoons Unite, the game has Timmy, Jimmy, Danny, and SpongeBob working together to take on the villains from their world who have teamed up to take over the world. Those being Crocker, Dr. Calamitous, Vlad, and Plankton. While the game didn't perform the best, it was still successful enough to make more games in the Nicktoons line of crossover games. After Unite came Battle for Volcano Island, which was a bit better but it felt kinda short. Still though, it was fun and added other characters like Sam and Tucker from Danny Phantom and Sandy from SpongeBob. A group of crabs summons the heroes to protect Volcano Island from the Magu. I really liked the wise old crab and the villain design was pretty cool. Next came Attack of the Toybots. I played this on the GBA, but the console version was pretty alright. Calamitous captures the heroes to make evil toys out of them and they have to stop him. This is also Attack's first appearance in the Nicktoons games. Someday we'll cover an Attack game or two maybe. Anyways, the game also had some other playable Nicktoons, but they weren't main characters in the story at all. Out of all Nicktoons games though, these ones didn't hit me as hard as the final Nicktoons crossover game did. Nicktoons Globs of Doom. Coming out on the Wii on October 20th, 2008, this game was a personal favorite of mine growing up as a kid. Even though I liked it as a kid, it clearly didn't perform as well as the other games, and might have killed off the Nicktoons crossover games. Again, I still liked it as a kid, so let's see if I still like it now. The game begins with SpongeBob and Squidward on their way to work when suddenly orange goo starts falling out of the sky, as one lands on Squidward which mind controls him. SpongeBob is terrified as he hides, and Patrick just walks to SpongeBob as he also sees the goo is falling. As Bikini Bomb is being attacked by the orange goo creatures called the Morphoids, Jimmy comes through a portal to bring them to the base, which is actually inside Volcano Island. What a neat way to reference that game. Heck, even the wise old crab is here. As they arrive, Danny and Tack say the goop is everywhere, affecting their home worlds too. Behind them though are the show's respective villains, Technus, Slaylock, Plankton, and Beautiful Gorgeous. Yeah, I guess they wanted to swap Calamitous and Vlad out for other villains, but I do really like these two they decided on. Along with that, Zim and Dib decide to help along as well. With Zim joining the good guys because if Earth is taken over by the Morphoids, then he can't take it for himself. And Dib joined the villains because that means he's against Zim. No Fairly OddParents characters in this game though, which some people didn't like since Timmy was in the other three games, so why not in this one? Anyways, the game has 5 worlds, with each having 2 levels and a boss level. Except Pupununu, which doesn't get a boss, which is kinda wasted potential thinking about it, considering the goo could just control one of the Jujus from the game/show. Starting with Bikini Bottom, we see Bubble Bass eating Krabby Patties, as he eats one of the goo and it controls him, making him grow to a giant as he goes to destroy the city to get to the Krusty Krab for more Krabby Patties. This is Bubble Bass's first appearance in a long time since his role in Lights Camera Pants. As we're in Bikini Bottom, I want to mention the music. Some of the music in this game is pretty good, from the hub world music to even the title screen music. The game might have not been the best, but the OST is so good. Once you make it to the Krusty Krab, you'll have to cook the best Krabby Patties and feed them to Bubble Bass to make him feel better. After he is defeated, he barfs the goo onto SpongeBob, but it doesn't affect him like others do. But it does make him have a wavelength to the boss of the Morphoids, so he can threaten the heroes by making SpongeBob talk for him. The heroes need 4 relics to power a robot to go and stop the big boss of the Morphoids who is in space. So they go to Zim's world to find the first relic. Zim's world? Doesn't the setting of Invader Zim actually have a name? Anyways, Gur has the first relic, but before he gives it to Zim, Morphi goo lands on him as he runs away with it. When it comes to the enemies in the game, there are about 5 enemy types. A little goo monster, a buff goo monster, a jellyfish goo monster, a ranged goo monster, and a giant 4-legged goo monster. There's also a blob of goo which when killed becomes a bounce pad, but that's not as major as the other enemies you see throughout the game. As you play through the game, the enemies do get some armor, so they will be a bit tougher as the game progresses. Gur's boss fight is kinda cool. You have to get to the house, and the gnomes and Zim's fake parents will try to stop you. And you pull a lever to bring up the house so you can enter it via a ladder. Once inside, you dodge Gur's attacks, and when he is exhausted, you attack him. He will toss you out 2 times before you finish the boss and get the taco relic. Once back at the base, Danny says the second relic is in Amity Park, and as they get there, Ghost Dog has the goo land on him, giving him 2 Morphoid heads like a Cerberus. They see him dig up the relic and have to chase him down to get it back. Another good thing about this game are the visuals and voice acting. For a Wii game, this game looks pretty good. I really like how Amity Park looks out of all the levels. Model-wise, Jimmy kinda looks but I could look over it. When it comes to the voice acting though, all the characters have their original voice actors reprising the roles, like Richard Horvitz as Zim, or Wendy Malick as Beautiful Gorgeous.
It'll take more than a squeaky toy to fix this, Danny. The Morphoids control him now.
A squeaky toy will do you no good. You need the plunger of doom! After him!
Aw, you're so brave and cute for such a green guy.
Everyone except the Wise Old Crab, whose voice actor is played by D. Bradley Baker. Ghost Dog's boss fight is kinda easy. There are 4 raised buttons. You'll need Ghost Dog to bump into them and bring them down. Once all 4 are pressed, 4 lasers will appear, and you will want to lead the boss into them so he can get damaged. Yeah, not much of a hard boss fight, but it's still a decent one. After the boss is defeated, they retrieve the Ghost Canister relic as more goo lands on SpongeBob. As they bring him back to the base, the boss of the Morphoids starts to speak through SpongeBob again, as he reveals his name, Globius Maximus. After SpongeBob snaps out of it, he says he saw something. Globulus is a big ball of goo that absorbs everything in its path. Kinda remembering how Fusion Falls Planet Fuse that absorbs plants in its path, with both games having goo creatures and enemies destroying the world. Funny enough, actually, Globs released 3 months before Fusion Fall did.
Coincidence? I think not!
Anyways, back on track. The Nicktoons head to Retroville for the next relic, as Jimmy's girl-eating plant has grown huge from the goo, has eaten the relic piece that they need and is holding on to Cindy. Hey, wait a minute, that's our show model. How was Globs doing the first console game to get Cindy's model right? Unlike how in Twonkies, it was her movie design. By this point, you probably have a ton of coins. Luckily, they can be used for upgrades such as upgrading your attack and health. So it's at least good that coins are useful in this game. As for the Retroville boss, in the mall you have to go where girls close so the plant will eat you and you attack its hurt. Do this a few times and the boss is defeated. Once back at the base, SpongeBob warns that Globulus is getting even closer to Earth, but luckily they have enough time now to Pupununu to grab the last relic. I don't have much to say about Pupununu, considering that there isn't a boss for it, just 2 long levels. With the last relic in hand, the robot is ready to go, as SpongeBob gets another message from Globulus saying he doesn't want to be himself and wants to be like SpongeBob, since he is so nice. SpongeBob ignores it, as they get into the robot and fly into space to fight Globulus once and for all. His boss fight has you shoot the goo spitters that are holding the rings around him together. Once they're all defeated, you attack him. This will repeat 2 more times before he is defeated. Of course, the villains want to capture him and use him for evil, so they eject the heroes out and fly away. Globulus says he doesn't want to be used for evil, he just wants to be good. It's revealed that he was created during the Big Sneeze, and being a booger, he wanted people to suffer. After feeding him Krabby Patties, he cheers up and changes his form into a globby SpongeBob to fight the villains, and once they're defeated, Globulus brings the heroes back to Earth as he now wants to become Sponge Glob. As he flies off, we get some funny dialogue between our heroes as the game ends. Wait, what? There's a secret ending? Oh, right! Since the game can be played co-op, the second player would play as the villains in the last fight, and if they won, Globulus would be captured by the villains as they sit around the table as it fades to black. I never knew that for a long time. Anyways, that was Nicktoons Globs of Doom. While not a lot of people liked it, I am one of the very few who do enjoy this game despite its few flaws here and there. And I can at least say the game is much better than Unite was. Anyways, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing and hitting that like button. And I hope you have a very happy Halloween.